Hi there everyone, and welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. You are looking at the open top of my FOF model number 6, and I have been working with the 3-in-1 penetrant oil product. It is not, again, a lubricant. You don't use it as a sewing machine oil, but I've been letting that product soak for several days, and I've begun to have some luck with it. Now, I wanted to talk to you today about some of the things that I have found when trying to unlock a machine to wake it up, especially when a lot of the mechanical pieces are not moving. And I talked in a prior video how you don't start by turning or twisting plastic knobs or levers, because they are attached on vintage machines to steel components on the inside of the machine. So let me zoom in here for you and see if I can give you a little bit better picture of what I'm talking about here. Now, got some afternoon light. If you look, you will see right there, that is a piece that I have been attempting to move. And so I have a couple of tools, and I want to show those to you. One of these is, of course, this is my part of my screwdriver tip set. This is the handle without an actual tip on the end. And then the other tool I have, well, it's a Phillips head screwdriver. I don't need the Phillips part, but then I've got this. And I don't know, honestly, I don't even remember where I got this tool, and I don't remember if it's just designed this way to grab. If you know why it's shaped this way, let me know, but it's going to work for my purposes, I think, or has been working. So let's take a look. You can see in here, zoom in even a little bit more. Okay, so notice that if I push, I can actually move that piece. It was very stiff. And then in order to move it some more, I take this piece, I'm going to turn it longitudinally and then turn it again and get it underneath the lever to pull it back up. So now the lever is back up once again. Now that lever, when I move it, it actually causes my, my front stitch length adjustment to move. But I am not stressing the plastic. I'm actually simply moving the steel behind the plastic, because all of this steel has connecting rods and pieces that need to learn to move again before I can use the plastic. So what you're hearing me do is turn this piece, and it's actually beginning to turn. And why is that important? When something has been basically not used for decades, and it's stiff and it doesn't want to move, we have old oil in it. So obviously I use the 3-in-1 penetrant oil, yes, but getting it to work, get that penetrant to work in and get some of the old oil varnish, the sludge stuff that's acting like glue, to get that to sort of break free, it's helpful to move the steel pieces. And what you will discover is that essentially what happens is you have a situation where you have different steel components that are connected to other steel components. So I start, because it's my front stitch length adjustment knob that I want to get working freely. I begin the process here, right in here with this. Let's put my flashlight there a little closer for you. This is the piece that I am pushing down. So if I go all the way up, as far up as I can, I know my hand's in the way here. See if I can get it from another angle. And I push down. I basically made the device push down, but without having to stress the plastic. Now I want to move it back. I'm basically moving it back and forth, right? So I'm going to have to pull it back up in the position it was in. And I can't do it with the other tool. So again, I'm going to put this in here and give you a slightly So this is my attempt to give you a slightly more close-up view or a better view, so more of a bird's eye. So again, you know, I take this tool and I push down on, I go as far to the right if I'm facing the machine as I can, and I push down. I take this tool and, like I say, you know, I just had to find something that I could use to grasp down in here. And I'm having to wiggle a bit to get it in where I want it, and there we go. So now I have it, and if I pull up, you may discover that your hands get slippery. There we go. So now I have moved it back. So I will do this periodically as I go through trying to get this part of the machine moving. And then we'll see what happens. You can also attempt to move the device that you're trying to move on your machine from the bottom. But you, of course, you'll need to access it. With many machines, you can't. This one, you can see a lot of daylight coming in from the top. So if I take this tool, and again, I'm just looking for a way to get access to that part. I want to push on it. Not having as much luck, you might, but again, finding maybe a longer tool would work. That is certainly, you know, certainly potential is there. But as you notice with this machine, it is stubborn. And now, of course, I can move the stitch length selector switch. Oh, wow, that's a mouthful. And I can try to do that as, you know, make an attempt, but then this is starting to move, but it's giving me some resistance, and this plastic cover is precious to me. If I break it, I've really lost a lot of the value of the machine. I do not want to try to find another one. So we're going to see. We're going to see if there's a way to get the rest of the machine to loosen up. See if you can guess how I'm going to do that. And in the next video, I will explore, well, once you've done your penetrant oil and you've gotten something moving, the rest of the machine is kind of still sleepy. So we're going to take it from there, and hopefully we're going to find a way to get this machine working once again in a safe way so we can use it and finally see it actually come to life. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.